A man with tricks up his sleeve and lemons under his hat. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The judge to get it on. Man, did you get it on? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian. Suck
that.
my medium-sized dick. All right.
You upgraded yourself.
Well, California is in the grips of a heat wave, so we all have to conserve. Somebody tweeted me this, but I was already looking at it. I guess we talked about it, but the freeway signs that say, flex alert, 4 to 9, turn the thermostat up to 87 and stay cool. Why?
Which is it?
Is there no vetting process? Does anyone... I would say the same for what can Brown do for you? Which is, UPS tried that out 20 years ago.
And that's an enema company.
Nobody raised their hand and went, you know that makes me think about? I don't... Save power, stay cool. Well, saving power and stay cool are two competing thoughts because you're telling us to turn the thermostat up, and so now we're not staying cool, or don't run the sprinklers, or don't turn the rain genie on the front lawn and have the kids run through it. This is the opposite. So. End it with, we'll get through this.
Yeah.
Or
suck it up.
You could live in India or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, flush the temp someplace that's much higher.
Yes. But anyway, stay cool. All right. So not much in that thought. But then also I was thinking about...
Did Newsom say you are the heat?
The power grid is falling apart in California. And now... I am in a location, there's a handful of them, I think Glendale and Burbank, and there's certain cities. We have to restrict water usage.
Same in West LA.
So during the hottest time of the year, we can't irrigate because there's a pipe. It's 35 miles long. It brings water from the Colorado River, and the pipe is in ill repair and needs to be fixed. Then I started thinking about the $90 billion we put into the rail program, our bullet train from Merced to Oxnard or something. It went nowhere. No one's ever ridden on it.
Doesn't exist.
Couldn't we have put some of that money into the water pipe or into the electrical grid? Wouldn't that have been a better use for that money?
It affects pretty much every resident.
I would say water and electricity affects everyone, and the high-speed rail from I don't know where in the Central Valley to I don't know where else in the Central Valley affects. I'm gonna be very generous and say affects 2% of the populace versus everyone. So I don't know. There's this disconnect between who we are and who we think we are, and that's the problem.
Maybe if we just get really, really real and make them lay all their cards on the table and just go, look, like Newsom, politicians, mayor, you can still gouge us, and you can still give all the good stuff to your friends, and you can still make a bunch of shady backroom deals, but can you do it with the water pipes?
And also this sort of the notion of, well, if you get more in taxes, then you will have a better society to live in. California does the most in taxes, and we're the ones without the water and the power. So
Gina's on to something. It's like, line your pockets, line your coffers. We expect it. In fact, at this point, we welcome it. Just give us clean, cold water.
Right.
Thank God they did away with the desalination plant 10 minutes ago. That got voted down by the crazy 6 yentas who run the Coastal Commission.
It was icky.
It was icky. All right. That's a weird caveman thing. You're taking water out of the ocean. It's going to lower the ocean. Like, all right, I thought the ocean was too high.
I was going to say, is the ocean rising?
Yeah, this is illusion.
They literally just picture giant marine mammals being sucked into a sieve and suffocating or something on an inlet pipe. So I was thinking about, I saw some... So there's some, I'll give you a fight analogy, 2 fight analogies. So CNN is undergoing some growing pains because they're reshuffling the deck. They're firing a few people. Maybe they're hiring a few people. They're under new management. I don't know all the nuts and the bolts, but CNN is looking to get back to Gulf War Wolf Blitzer CNN and a little less Trump derangement syndrome CNN, which hasn't been working for them as of late. So they're shuffling the deck. And I was thinking to myself as I was looking at some old CNN headlines that had to pertain to Trump. Trump wanted to reopen the schools. I don't think CNN had thoughts about whether schools reopening were safe or dangerous, but all they knew is Trump wanted this, so they will want that. So Trump says ivermectin, and then they say that's paste for horses. I would argue that as a news organization, you should look into it a little bit and see what other applications ivermectin may have, but you just labeled it. So now you're just doing the opposite of what Trump is saying. And now my feeling is that's fine, but then there's certain conceits, like Trump wanted us to be energy independent, and we said, fuck that guy, and now we have to see if we can get money from the Saudis. I should say oil from the Saudis by giving them money, and Trump wanted a stout border, and now we said, fuck that guy, now the border's a shit show. So certain things, you're allowed to go, I disagree, I'm doing the opposite, but you shouldn't just reflexively do it. And I think it hurts. I think that's what hurt CNN. And I'll show you a headline from 2 years ago. It was Trump wanted to reopen some schools.
Oh, boy. Please tell me this is at least an op-ed.
Donald Trump's mind-bending logic on school reopenings. All right, well, that was 2 years ago, and now the data's in, and it turns out we should have reopened schools.
We did bend their minds.
But you did successfully, CNN, go the opposite of what Trump did, and then Trump ignores recent calamities in his push to open schools. But it turned out we should have opened schools, and now the kids are fucked up. And the poor brown and black kids are fucked up the most, that you claim to care about the most. Now, CNN fucked themselves up by doing the opposite. They should have done the opposite some of the time, or maybe most of the time, but they just did it all of the time. And then their batting average went down and they lost some credibility. Now they have to restructure. And the boxing analogy, Roberto Duran, hands of stone,
Indeed.
Panamanian boxing legend. He had to fight. The first fight was Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard is fast and he's slick and he's got incredible speed. He's a middleweight Muhammad Ali. Danced, moved, flashy. Roberto Duran, hands of stone, walk forward, like to get people into a barroom brawl and go at him. He didn't have the speed, he didn't have the defense, but he had the aggression. And he would beat many opponents based on that. So now, the analogy. Roberto Duran is going to fight Sugar Ray Leonard. Roberto Duran does not want to chase Sugar Ray Leonard around while he's on his bicycle, sticking that jab out there and doing all the head movement, the footwork, because he's not going to win that fight. So what's he do? He calls Sugar Ray Leonard's wife a whore. And then he keeps calling her whore. And then he keeps talking about Sugar Ray being not a man, not enough man.
This is a Donald Trump, Ted Cruz situation. Go on.
Yes. So he does that. And what Sugar Ray Leonard does in the first fight is Roberto gets under skin and goes, fuck that guy. He thinks I'm a woman. Call my wife a whore. I'll show him.
Gas him out.
No dancing. I'm going to the center of the ring and I'm going to trade with this guy. So now you're being drawn in to a fight that you shouldn't, a style of fight that you shouldn't have taken, and Sugar Ray Leonard loses the fight.
Yeah.
Now, Trump did that with CNN. They went, fuck that guy.
Lured
I'll
him
do the
over.
opposite of everything he said. And now you guys lost the fight because people question you now and you're going to have to restructure. The second fight, Sugar Ray got smart and was like, I'm not going back to what didn't work. He got back on his horse, did all the movement, did even more of it than he traditionally did. And that was the no mas fight. That was the fight where in the 8th round, Roberto Duran said, my stomach hurts. I'm not fighting anymore. He never had a stomach issue. He just, he quit because he was being clowned. And he was being frustrated and he wasn't able to do it. So Sugar Ray got back onto what he danced with who brung him.
Right.
Got lured into the first fight and lost, went back and got. So CNN can now go back to Wolf Blitzer and Scud missiles and Schwarzkopf, and then they will get back into their winning ways as well. If they, in fact, go back to the technique that made them so popular and so successful
and
before
trusted.
they got drawn in.
Yeah, and trusted. Like, that's a good observation, because Gulf War was when I was, 12-ish or whatever I was, 13. And yeah, the CNN was just the news.
Right.
You had no reason not
Cable
to trust
news
what they
network.
said. They were just the news. And nowadays, like, well, CNN said, but, it's about Trump or it's about this, and they have an agenda this way, or they don't like this guy or whatever it is, and they've eroded that confidence.
You can't have the raised eyebrow about a news outlet or about a realtor. Like, if people are saying something, you're going, is that really what's going on? Then you've lost, you've hurt your business. Another boxing analogy.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
From Gina this time.
Yes. This is on, I've said all the time, people need to start crossing the aisle and just going, if you're Fauci and you want to get the news out to the Trump reporters to get vaccinated, then you need to go on Hannity and tell them why.
Of course.
But he doesn't go on Hannity and tell them why. And there are guys that will. There's Bill Maher will go from one side of the aisle, will go anywhere and say anything on anyone's show. And Ben Shapiro on the other side of the aisle will go anywhere. But it's because they're confident in what they're saying.
In their point.
And Mike Tyson, his very first fight against Donovan Razor Ruddock. He fought Donovan Razor Ruddock, and it was a punch fest. You've never seen Tyson rocked before back in his prime, and I don't know, 91 was it? I'm trying to figure out. So after the fight, he had this to say about Donovan Razor Ruddock.
How was he punching? Was it hurting you? He punches like a mule kick. Unbelievable. Excuse my French, please. Oh my God.
All right, run it one more time. Just bring up the sound a little bit. That's fine.
There's a new show. I don't know if you saw the billboard called Tyson. So,
I will be watching.
Yeah, very excited.
How
about
was he
that.
punching? Was it hurting you? He punches like a mule kick. Unbelievable. Excuse my French, please. Oh my God.
All right, so Mike Tyson fought a guy who punches like as the French would say, a fucking mule would kick. And all right, so now, but he beat him. Yeah. And so if you're a heavyweight boxer, you move on to the next opponent, get the money, fight the number 2 ranked guy, or maybe I don't know if Tyson was champ at the time, but let's say you're number 2. You want to fight the champion at that point. Mike Tyson fought Donovan Razor Ruddock 3 months later.
Why?
That's the shortest amount of time between heavyweight fights possible. I mean, in the modern era, there's not much shorter than 3 months. To be specific, it was 3 months and a week or something.
Why?
Because Tyson was confident in his ability. So Tyson, in this case...
It wasn't like I rolled the dice once and I won. Let's be smart about
Tyson would be Bill Maher or Ben Shapiro, which is like, I'll fucking go where you want me to go because I am that confident in my ability. He wanted to fight the guy who was scary to him, but it's also he knew what he could do. And so they just laced it up and did it again 3 months later, and Tyson won in slightly more convincing fashion.
Did he win the last one too?
As I remember, yeah, he won.
Won them all.
He won the first fight, and but he admitted that he'd been rocked by this guy a couple of times. He felt the guy's power. You know what I mean? When you fight and you feel the guy has power, you're like, oh boy, if one of those catches me just right, it could be an early night for me. But he moved on. And by the way, Holyfield went on and fought Tyson again, too, because Holyfield was that guy. Mm-hmm. He was like, I got the Lord on my side.
He still might be that guy.
Right. So that's that. But it's confidence. It's I know what I'm doing. I can handle this, and let's do it again. There's a Tyson.
That's a great poster.
Ruddock rematch. Yeah, and Ruddock
shows the wingspan.
Kind of fizzled out after that. I think, Chris, you can look into it, but the late, great Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Oh, from Rocky.
Yes, from Rocky.
Tommy Gunn.
Yeah, I think he was from Kansas City.
Tommy the Duke Morrison, grandchild of the Duke, of John Wayne.
Oh, yeah, Marion Morrison.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
He's a grandnephew.
Grandnephew. Related to, that's why it was Tommy the Duke Morrison. I think he had a fight with Razor Ruddock where Razor Ruddock was beating him the entire fight, and then Tommy hit him with an uppercut at the very end and just knocked him out. It was a crazy fight. I think it was Razor Ruddock. Anyway, Tommy's gone. Crazy story. Died of AIDS.
Yeah.
I mean, just a crazy. I mean, think about that guy's life.
Didn't he claim to have AIDS, then claimed it was cured or something weird?
I do not know.
My memory floating in there.
He was all about being cast as a lead in the Rocky franchise, legitimate heavyweight, won a lot of fights. I don't think he won the title, but he was very legitimate, had a very good record, fought everybody, was no joke, and it was Razor Ruddock. I knew it. Sorry. Razor Ruddock would throw these giant uppercuts, and that's what got to Tyson. Big, crazy uppercuts, and that's what Tyson was scared of. And after Tommy Morrison was being beat up for 11 rounds, 9 rounds, I don't know, he was getting beat up, Razor pulled back to throw one of those uppercuts, and he missed, and Tommy Morrison just threw a short left hook and just dropped him. And at the end of being beaten up for the 11 rounds, I don't know what it was, but maybe we'll find out.
Is this more Fauci talk? Is this more Fauci talk?
No, there's no analysis here or analogous.
I'm seeing 6 round.
6 round. All right. Well, then he got beat up for 6 rounds. But it was such a great. It was once in a while, guys land sort of perfect punches. And that was Tommy the Duke Morrison and Donovan Razor Ruddock. And that was probably the end of Razor, but maybe we'll find it 1995. All right. So there's
shit.
There is that. What is we need some ball pullers for Austin, by the way, Chris. Brian Bosworth confirmed for Friday.
Pull the balls?
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants. He's the boss.
So if anybody is coming to the Austin shows and wants to pull Adam's balls, send an email to questions@Carolla. In the subject line, write Austin ball puller. Tell us which show you're going to and why we should pick you.
Also, we've been invited to the Alabama-Texas game on Saturday as well.
Big time.
Just, I don't know, 1 and 4. Who's won? Alabama's won, I'm guessing. And big top 10 ranked home. It's going to be nuts.
That's awesome.
It's probably, I mean,
it's a marquee matchup.
Pro football is awesome, but college is...
Especially when it's 2 powerhouses, traditional powers.
Right.
It's going to be warm. Warm and humid.
What do you mean 1 and 4?
1 ranked. They're ranking,
okay.
Sorry. Somebody told me, I think August told me. I don't know where Texas is ranked. Alabama's, they're not number 1, they're number 2 or right up there. They're always... No? No.
I think I saw they were like 14.
Oh, well, what the hell did Mike just tell me?
Well, he's excited. He loves college football, doesn't he?
Alabama's got to be pretty far up there. I'd be top.
Yeah. Alabama's won.
Alabama's won.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we got that part. And then whoever, top 20. It'll be fun.
Either way, just the fact that it's 2 powerhouses, a lot of legendary programs.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. All right. If you have Ruddock, if you have Tommy and his knockout, I'll look at it. And then we can get on to Labor Day and the trials and the tribulations.
Did anybody else watch all 3 parts of the Army Hammer docuseries?
Oh my God. What'd we learn?
It started off in 1 part, he broke it off into 3.
That's an
bite-sized morsels.
Dude, as predicted, that sickness and that family goes way back.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're all pieces of shit. Oh my God. It was only a matter of time before this dude...
cousin listening right now, hey, what the fuck?
Before this dude tried to eat somebody. You gotta watch it. It's fucking crazy. Was it Hulu? I'll double check. Is it Hulu? Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, I'll just dip my toe. 3 hours later, finished it. And I'm just staring at the wall.
Really?
That family is they are so dark and so evil and so crazy. They were petroleum tycoons. Mm-hmm. And by the way, do you know why his grandfather Armand Hammer was named Armand? This is kind of a fun fact, because his father, who came over from Russia, named him after basically the Russian flag, like an arm and
the sickle.
A hammer.
Wow.
Yeah, so there a lot of communist stuff. The Arm and Hammer knew Princess Di and all the royals and bankrolled him like a motherfucker. Oh, you got to watch it.
He was American.
Yeah.
Armand. Okay.
This world out
Brought over
there.
here in the late 1800s.
You know what? Everyone knows each other, and everyone's on Epstein's plane, and everyone's hanging out.
I'm quite sure they were on Epstein's plane.
Everyone's his biplane back in the day, and they're all going to the Kentucky Derby together. I don't feel like I know anybody. I know some people, but I don't cash in.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
buddy,
anything.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, it's all this. Everyone knows everyone. It's not turned out well for
Keep
everyone.
you up a couple of lists.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
That's
Enjoy
right.
yourself up in your waterless La Cañada.
You're right. I should thank.
It's a better life.
I should count my blessings that I do not know how to network. Here's Tommy the Duke Morrison and Donovan Ruddock. He's beating him up.
Oh, he missed.
Yeah.
That's fast.
I mean, that's a
Morrison's a legitimate heavyweight. And I don't know what happened.
They'll just call it. The ref will just call it off after.
He's beating him up.
Punches from Morrison.
He's got
Morrison got beat up the whole fight, but that was the end of that. And then he died of AIDS.
He did. 44 years old. I respect the little diminutive little Lilliput in the middle getting in between them.
boxing referee quietly on the man's game.
Jesus, that little ref.
Yes, with hands flailing. They see he'll dig. We'll watch him. He'll
Those
dig.
guys' arms weigh as much as the ref.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just missed and
He just
popped him.
Wow.
Yeah, Morrison is a real fighter. I don't know, 37-7 or 6 or something, but
He fought Tyson, right?
no, I don't think he
might have been in
fought.
jail. Coinciding with his prime.
Right.
I think he was. I think he got into some drugs. He got caught up with the wrong crowd, and something happened. He got AIDS, and then he wanted to come back and fight after AIDS, and then
frowned upon.
He just died somewhere.
Nevada was cool with it.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
yeah. I mean, there's got to be a doc on that guy coming out.
Sure.
You got to
soon,
imagine.
right?
Fascinating.
Yes. So Army Hammer,
Oh, my God.
family nuts,
Nuts and
rich.
oh, very rich, and just kind of snubbing each other, skipping the Armand skips the son and leaves everything to the grandson because fuck you, because they never got along, and then the grandson, the father never got along. A lot of sexual abuse in that family, a lot of statutory issues in that family, and then Army's just this gorgeous prince of the family, and he was just apparently a little shit as a little kid.
Actor.
But just, I mean, all the texts, all the voicemails are in there. He thinks he's like this fucking like dom, like in this like sub dom relationship
Was
with
he
all these hot
married
chicks.
during
yeah,
the whole time?
He was married. He has 2 little kids. Oh,
Yeah.
remember when we reported that he was like, the rumor has it that he's in the Cayman Islands, possibly selling timeshares.
There's your networking. Go ahead on down.
Well,
Arby's timeshares.
he was brought up in the Cayman Islands. Maybe Daddy thought
He's
that
got
was
a
a better
connection.
place to
Hide money.
Yeah. So it's fucking crazy. The girls are like super hot. They seem like nice girls, and he plays them all the same way. And it's like the love bombing, and then it starts getting a little kinky, and then it gets fucking crazy. This guy is like, he can't be satiated. He said to one of them, "I want to find a doctor in Beverly Hills that will remove some of your skin and your meat, and you'll cook it for me, my little kitten."
I had ribs yesterday. Random note.
I wanted ribs yesterday.
Oh, they're so good.
Random note. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
And then there's no coming back from this.
He did that Nile movie with Gal Gadot. That Journey of the Nile or Mystery on the Nile.
Did anyone see
Couldn't
that?
be
I don't think
before
so.
everyone had this information.
Well, he got dropped from the J-Lo movie, whatever that was, and then they still went forward with this like Murder on the Nile movie.
Oh, the Agatha Christie.
right, but
Murder
all
on
of
the
his
Nile.
movies, I didn't even remember that being a movie.
Emmy's fired up. He says Tommy did not have AIDS.
What?
What did he have?
That's not
So
what
I remember
Wikipedia
watching
says.
a quick doc on this. So what happened, the story goes that Tommy was diagnosed with AIDS, or they came out with a report that he had AIDS right before he was set to fight Tyson for the title. Apparently, the story goes that everyone thought he would beat Tyson, and so then that's when they came out with the story. Later on in his life, he found out that he never had AIDS, went into a deep spiral of just drugs. And then when they found him dead in his car, he had just gone through a drug overdose.
Sure.
That's that horrific picture that you guys will usually see for Tommy Morrison.
That lines up with my recollection that he was diagnosed and then was undiagnosed for some reason.
This says he was announced that he was in the final stages of AIDS, but yeah, maybe it was a
Well, we'll
fake
see if we
news.
can get to the bottom of that one, because that is, I heard he had AIDS, and then I heard there was drugs, and then I heard he OD'd and died. But
you can get HIV from needle sharing. I mean, it could be both.
Well, the claim here is that he never actually had
Right,
it.
I get it, but I'm saying
But Emmy's implying it's because Tyson didn't want to fight him either.
Yeah, supposedly everyone had him as a favorite.
Yeah.
That's not him.
Tyson.
That's when they found. Oh, well, that's not when they found him, but that was the last picture they had of him.
That looks like Jason Statham's grandfather.
Yes. I think Tyson wanted to keep his unblemished record of never losing to a white dude.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he successfully made it through an entire heavyweight boxing career without ever being vanquished by a white guy. Died at 44 years of age.
I watched this random clip of Tyson over the weekend. Someone interviewing him and something like asking him if he ever cried before fights, was that true? And he said, yeah, I cried before every fight. And I was like, I got to hear this. And he said he cried before the fights because he was scared that he was going to hurt the other guy so bad it would affect their family, which is kind of a compliment to yourself.
Humble
But
brag.
he was scared that he would kill somebody.
I cry before sex. For many of the same reasons, obviously.
I understand. It's not exactly one-to-one.
Completely one-to-one. So, Army Hammer, the family's nuts, and
you must watch it.
And I must watch it on Hulu.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
Crazy.
That's what you did, Brian. What'd you do?
That's all I did.
It was Labor Day weekend in Balboa. It was gorgeous.
Oh,
I
the
know, right there
Balboa.
on the beach. Christy's brother, wife, and new baby came out from Arizona. Met the new baby. He's the best. It was great.
Cute.
That Balboa connection.
It's so great.
You motherfucker.
That is the goddamn best. I mean, there's things.
We were talking. Sorry to interrupt. We were talking about that over the weekend because a friend came to hang out. Not my friend, a friend of a friend, and they're asking about the house and everything. It's like, yeah, they bought it in 1979 for $260,000, and then the grandpa had to be talked into it by Christy's dad. You really should think about doing this. Oh no, it's way too expensive. It's like, trust me, you really
was
should.
A lot for a house back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth 10 times that now.
Right.
Well, it doesn't come up, but I think in dating apps, shouldn't it come up your folks own anything worth a shit?
Sure.
Yes.
Because, there's my dad's successful. He has a container company, runs out of Virginia or something. It's it's good when he dies, maybe a couple shekels coming your way. But I'm talking about real, tangible, usable, right now shit.
Where are we going for Christmas?
If you live where Ball Bryan lives and somebody's got a place on Balboa Island, that is a mitzvah. That is something that's insanely usable and practical. That's 4th of July. That's Labor Day. That's God knows what. No, not to mention one day when they're gone, then it's all yours. But just a real kind of practical. Yeah. I know it comes down to professions too. Some people. I was on the beach, and I spent yesterday or Labor Day on the beach, and I was watching this couple interact, and I was just sitting there on a chair looking at the ocean, and at some point the guy came back. A middle-aged couple, had younger kids. There's a couple in their late 40s, early 50s, and the guy had a towel over his hand, and evidently a finger had been dislocated and bent out when the guy was body surfing, right? And he looked at his wife and said, I think I better go to urgent care and get this taken care of. And the wife looked at him casually and went, you want my dad to take care of that?
What?
Doctor?
That's all she said. So my dad could take care of that. And I thought, this guy's an orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
And,
nice.
and later on, he went, I got it. And he left. And then I said to her, your dad, what's he do? He's an orthopedic surgeon.
Nice.
But your dad could be an electrician too. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's married into somebody whose dad has a trade, fucking help put a deck on, or how many times I've heard of like, yeah, my dad would come out from Henderson and then would help us rewire the whatever. They just like what he liked to do and stuff like that. Dad is a plumber, just a trade car, anything to do with cars.
My family brings nothing to the table. I love that, but they're useless. Christy's dad has the power tool shop. So he's pretty fucking handy. The guy knows everything about tools and, hey, Don, a fence guy? Hey, Don, electrician?
Between the power tool shop and the Balboa Island, that is such a fucking win.
Yeah. And this is also a bonus. This happened this reared its lovely head over the weekend. Don, Christy's dad, was having chest issues. He had an aortic valve replacement 10 years ago. So he was having a little bit of chest issues. They took him to the hospital. Our sister-in-law, the one who married into the family, pediatric cardiac nurse.
Jesus.
Right.
So she went to the hospital and basically it was the interpreter, and
Amazing.
Told what was wrong, interpreted all the tests.
I will say,
it was great.
Say this.
Great that she was there.
As I've said to many people in my world many times, it would be so nice if you had some skill of something, because I'm a carpenter, and it has an application when you live in a house. Yeah. It's nice to live with someone who is a carpenter. These skillless people, these folks who just wander through life with nothing to offer. Yes, have something to offer. All right, we got. Speaking of that, we'll do yourself a favor. Yes. First, I'll tell you about American Hartford Gold. Inflation at a 40-year high, interest rates skyrocketing. Experts like J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon predict a recession using terms like economic hurricane. Protect your future. Do what I did. American Hartford Gold. They'll help protect your savings and retirement by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. One short phone call, and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA or 401k. Highest rated firm in the country, A+ rated from the Triple B. Thousands of satisfied customers. You need to diversify your portfolio, people, and protect yourself. Tell them Adam Carolla sent you, and when you sign up, you can get $1,500, up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Am I right, Dawson?
Call 866-899-2028. That's 866-899-2028, or text Adam to 998899. That's 866-899-2028, or text Adam to 998899.
All right, well, give some tips on life. Do yourself a favor, and we'll do that right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Adam, things that sound better than they are. A search party and an enlarged heart.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, file those, Chris. Those are two strong ones. Talk about having your wages garnished and casualties of war and things like that. Do yourself a favor. I will offer one up. People think I'm strange. Not much of a tip, but a tip. I am a person who does not like the feeling of long fingernails, even marginally long.
Really?
Maybe it's from all my blue collar days and stuff, but I just feel like there's dirt or grease or something that gets under them. I keep them short. I also do not like cutting my fingernails inside the house because I clip it and the thing shoots. I can lean over a trash can, but it'll pop and just go sailing off like ripping a bong load with a seed in it and just poop off into the night. I only and always cut my fingernails when I'm taking a walk. I just put the clippers in my pocket and I go, I shall do this. It's a little, I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting a little exercise, and I will trim my nails along the way, and where it lands, it'll land, and little hands will grow in the earth as I leave behind. I don't know why people think that's strange, but to me, I'm walking. I got both hands free. I'm not doing anything.
Is it hard to clip your nails while you're walking?
No, the clippers are smallish, drop into the pocket, and I just walk and clip.
It's unusual, but I wouldn't say strange.
I use the big clippers on my fingernails too. I don't like the little one.
No, you gotta get that power, that torque.
Right.
That's right.
Good one.
Jason's got one about parking a car in the heat, which I am
listening.
interested in because I went to the Home Depot in Woodland Hills over the weekend and it was 113 degrees outside.
And they have a big fire.
Oh, yeah. Oh, somebody tweeted me this. Chris maybe can find it. The big fire that we're having. So we have these big fires in SoCal. And then somebody told me the plume of smoke is settling over Kansas.
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious?
But in general, I mean, again, back to the insanity of SoCal. All our discussions about carbon reduction and going full electric and renewables, it's all undone because every year we put millions of metric tons of soot and smoke into the air because we have a forest fire because we don't manage our forest correctly or because PG&E's power lines are so old.
Or they blew something up.
They fall on the ground and they start a fire. So I guess we can talk about everyone riding bird scooters everywhere, but if we're just going to have huge forest fires every year, we will undo any of the... Doesn't that mean anything to anyone? Like
we never learn. Well, and didn't we stop the controlled forest fires because environmentalists said, don't do that. And now look what happened.
Yes, there's just a management that needs to be done, and we mismanage it. The only reason I'm not a forestry expert, the only reason I know it's mismanaged is there's a huge forest fire every single year, and we can do nothing to stop it.
And fire season gets longer and longer.
Right. So there was something, Chris, about the plumes of smoke. Somebody tweeted to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's just an article or some news or something. Because also,
look for a headline that says "Great Plumes over the Great Plains."
I thought I saw Minnesota, but
could have been Minnesota. Oh. Yeah, it was probably Minnesota. You are correct. All right, I was thinking of Minnesota Mom when I was thinking.
Oh, she's got something for you.
Oh, really? Got bars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got the bars.
Jason Henderson.
Yeah.
42. Yeah. Hi, guy.
Hey, man. Ace, man. Get it on.
Get it on, man.
So do yourself a favor. I live in Las Vegas. Been here for many, many years. I always try to park with my windshield facing the sun, mainly in the evening facing west. That's the hottest time of the day, right? So I put the windshield cover up and block as much sun as possible and crack my windows about a quarter of an inch. And you know what? After a couple hours, I feel like it makes a difference, man.
So you do it facing the sun.
Because that's the part you can put the
reflective shield up, crack it, and it's probably drops it 15 degrees or 10 degrees or something.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's enough to make a difference. I play a lot of golf or go to Costco. I always try to park facing west, and like I said, it makes a difference.
Could we, and that's good, Jason, I like that I'm not responsible enough to do the windshield foil thing, but I understand it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Could we have a cool setting for a car where you hit a button and each window dropped 3/8 of an inch, front, back, whatever that meant. I
think they already do. They already do that.
Do they have a cool vent?
Like pre-programmed?
Well,
I don't know.
Volkswagen does that, where you can hit a button on the car and the windows roll down automatically with the car being off.
Well, yeah, no, all cars have that.
This is a pre-programmed slot of daylight.
I don't have enough finesse sometimes to get it. Sometimes I drop it 2 inches and someone can put their hand through there. Yep. But yeah, just to go, you hit a button and all the windows will drop 3/8 of an inch. And when you get back into the car, it'll be on full circulation, full blown air. We're in hot mode.
Yeah, it's a good
I like that.
Yeah, but I like your angle, Jason.
Literally.
Last week we were at Costco. My wife, I drove by a couple of parking spots. She's like, "Why didn't you park there?" I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to face west." And she thinks I'm a dumbass. I do.
Just fucking get out of the car, Magellan. I know, it's always great. It's always great what bothers everybody in relationships.
There's a reason I'm doing this.
I wish women had that gene.
What gene?
That gene where you're like, you left the sponge on the countertop. I was going to bring it up and clean the bathroom sink with it. Why'd you leave it out of... I was trying to do something. It would have been a good thing.
There's a purpose. It might not be the
thing.
most
I know you're bothered by it, but there's this thing.
Yeah.
I think you can judge. Again, everyone's true colors come out when they're sleeping. That's who you are. They say it's when you're drunk, but it's really not. It's when you're asleep and when you've been woken up. What side, male or female? Let's do a hypothetical to see who's the bigger pain in the ass to live with. Who, in general, is more annoyed by their spouse having to get up at like 5 a.m. because they have to catch an early morning flight for business, and they're at some point they're opening the sock drawer and the roller suitcase falls over and makes a clunk on the hardwood? What the fuck? Who is more annoyed? Because I got to tell you, there's been
women, obviously.
There's been 7 times in my life where a woman I've been sleeping with has gotten up earlier than me to go make money. Yeah. I am delighted. I actually like being woken up by it. I like the sound of the bathroom door shutting stuff, and I look up and it's still dark outside. And I go, "Ooh, well, that's normally me, but it ain't me today."
Coffee makers.
I love that feeling. So, who is more annoyed in that scenario? And then we can figure out who the bigger pain in the ass to live with is.
I think you're right. I think in general,
it's not loaded per se. It could go either direction.
I think in general it might be women, but I'll tell you, every morning my husband gets up at 6 a.m. because he has to cook a full hot breakfast for my stepson before he takes him to parts unknown for school. And every morning, if that drawer opens and he's getting dressed and rattling around, I feel so guilty that I'm still in bed.
Good.
I really do.
Bathe in guilt.
Yeah.
Healthy. God,
they always hit the hair dryer though, you know?
Yeah, the hair dryer.
Women be drying. Women be drying.
During flex alerts. Yeah, I remember. God, it started so early for me. My first girlfriend was a AD Pi at USC, Brian.
Excuse me.
So Christy.
Dad set her up with her and her sister with a Beverly Hills like adjacent apartment, you know.
Wasn't she the Arcadia one?
Dad had a big house in Arcadia. Dad was a big lawyer, you know. Gordon set her up, you know. She had nothing to do. She was done with college. She had nothing to do but hang out all day. And Jesus. I was working at Always Better Closets, ABC Closets. ABC Closets was like 2 blocks away from the Burbank Airport, and this apartment was by the Ivy and Kitson and over there in Robertson or whatever. There is no direct route from that place to the Burbank Airport.
Oh, fuck no.
It just meant canyons and side streets. And
through just some of the worst traffic on earth.
My call time was 7 a.m., and I rode a motorcycle. And we would enjoy ourselves on a Sunday night, watch L.A. Law, and drink pink Chardonnay.
My God.
It was the 80s, man.
A couple of ladies. Yeah.
Late 80s. And then that alarm would go off at 6 a.m. And I'd go, ugh, I got to ride my motorcycle over to these born-again Christian guys in the hubs of hell. And she's just in her bedroom in Beverly Hills with her dad footing the bill. And I'd go into the bathroom and like start brushing my teeth, and I'd hear, "Close the door!" Like, okay.
Yes, you're tormenting her.
Just sleep another 21 minutes or something. And by the way, anyone who says, my thing is like, just go back to bed. And they go, "I can't go back." Then get up. If your answer started, if the sun is up and the birds are chirping and you in fact cannot go back to sleep, then maybe that's God telling you to get the fuck up.
Now, I'm sure she was lovely. She sounds very fun, but I don't think she had a lot of. She didn't brush up against a lot of inconveniences, so this probably was pretty high, probably on her priority list.
Yeah, she was fine.
She was aggrieved.
Her dad didn't like me.
That's why she was dating you.
Yeah. Her dad, a million years later, showed up at an event I did with Prager and was totally new attitude.
Oh, sure.
By the way.
I always wished you would be a son-in-law of mine. By the way, I thought about this over the weekend. What's ABC stand for?
Always Better Closets.
I was hoping it was Always Be Closing. Because,
predated.
Oh, okay.
Predated the movie by a few years.
Got it.
And then there was A and B carpet cleaning, of course. All right, let's see. Should we hop on? Yes, sorry, Chris says. Smoky haze from California is over Minnesota this week. So sorry about the air quality over there in Minnesota, but we cannot control our grid and our forests over here. So
as much as we try to keep things in California out of our great state, sometimes you're welcome.
Yep. Well,
Line 4 has a related tip. I'm kind of curious what this is all about.
All right. We'll talk to Dan, Gainesville, Florida. Tip for dealing with the in-laws.
Guys, I'm an old guy. I've been divorced, and this advice will serve any of you young couples well. When figuring out where you want to live with relation to in-laws, there are two options that work. One, within an hour, visits are brief. It's a lunch, you're in and out. Or two, other side of the planet, visits are rare. It's an overnight, but it's rare. The worst thing you could ever do, is do the 2 to 3 hours from in-laws, because then it's frequent and it's overnight and it's miserable.
Oh, wow. That's being in the. Sorry, Brett. That's like being in the breakers.
Be on the shore with the guy with the dislocated finger or beyond.
Yeah.
But do not be in the breakers.
There is some wisdom to Dan, what you're saying, Dan. Where do you guys stand? We're 10 minutes away. 12. No, it's saved our ass many times.
Yeah.
Like, can you go home and let Charlie out or whatever, whatever it was? Where do you guys stand on the 12-minute distance?
It kind of, look.
If you like them, I guess.
That's right.
I mean, that's okay.
Well, that's not a given. But, okay, here's the thing. There's a financial thing, for instance. And it applies to the immediate family as well. My sister relied heavily on my mom, her mom, to babysit, because it's an expense. Like it's a real expense.
Save some real money.
I didn't, because I had money and a night nurse and that kind of stuff. So there's a kind of a practical part where if they're going to be coming by and helping out with the kids or looking after them while you guys go out of town or out for the evening or whatever, there's a kind of monetary
savings
part of it. So you got to kind of figure that out. But I agree. I'd rather go far away, because there's a problem with the too close. Too close and you haven't seen each other in 9 months. It's weird.
Yeah.
It feels weird to go like people always used to say, when I'd do that, we get to like season 4 of The Man Show, right? And then my people would come up innocently enough. It could be a juggy or a grip or something. They go, I see Kimmel's parents here all the time. They're from Nevada? And I'd go, yeah, they come out. And then they'd go, so your parents are dead, or they live in Connecticut? And I go,
they're colonizing Mars.
I go, no, they live like 4 miles from here. And then they'd go, okay. Like it was a weird,
the backaway boogaloo.
It was a weird moment. They did a math where they were either way out of town or in the ground, but it was uncomfortable. So then if people live too close, you don't see them enough, that's uncomfortable.
Also, I don't like pop-ins. I don't like people stopping by. No, I don't like that.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan?
No, pop-ins are bad. I'm 30 minutes from my parents. 45 minutes is perfect. Not a frequent visit, but when we're there, it's an hour. It's a lunch. I'm in and out, and I'm done. My in-laws live in Boston, which is hours and hours on the plane. So it's a good situation both ways.
Anyone have a skill in this group?
A skill. My dad's a retired doctor. He can write a prescription.
Oh, sure. That's right to the top of the list.
Call him up with a common question.
Listen, I've said the same thing that I would say about a skill as that I would say to a woman during the whole women's lib thing, where it's like, you're not his maid, you're not his servant, you don't have to cook and clean. Good, get a job as a fucking lawyer, bitch, and make some money, and we will then use some of that money, and we will get a cleaning lady or someone who can shop for us or something. It can't be none of the above. My family, and I include my in-laws in this, which is no good skill, like blue-collar, electrician, whatever, and then doesn't make money. That's what you call lose. I got no problem if your dad can't help you build a deck, but he's got buku bucks and he's got a lake house and somebody built him a deck and you get to have a beer on it, then he's covered.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I concur. Let's see. You got one.
Oh, actually, I want to hear from line 3.
Me too, very much.
I'm dealing with this issue right now.
Tip for cooking.
For impatient children.
Oh, cooking for impatient children. Yes, Nolan, Michigan.
Hey, guys. Gina, get it on.
Hi, Guy.
Hey, so I've got a 2-year-old at home. First off, both my mother-in-law and my parents are both an hour and a half in different directions. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Yeah, with the 2-year-old, he eats a lot of spaghetti, a lot of macaroni and cheese. They like junk food, sure. It's quick and easy, but he's really impatient about it being ready on time. He walks in the door and he's like, go right to the high chair, dinner, dinner, dinner. So what I do is I'll keep frozen veggies in the freezer, peas, corn, carrots, whatever, throw a few of those in there. And by the time it cools it down, it heats up the veggies too. He gets a serving of veggies with his mac and cheese, which isn't so bad. And it's ready quicker.
I do a lot of hiding vegetables in the main dish, so I support this completely.
I was thinking about the sad realization is I've become the man now. Like I said to Sonny the other day, like, so we going out to dinner tonight? And he's like, yeah. And then I get the text from him like 2 hours later, like, hey, we take a rain check? And I'm like, what's going on? I was like, hey, my buddies want to go down to town center and like
he big timed you.
Have dinner and And then I said, all right, well, maybe we'll all go out to dinner. And he's like, nah, we're cool. And it's
I'll meet you
there. Even cool dad. See, still dad. Yeah, even an attempt at cool dad is not work anymore.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, thinks he's too cool. I had him during the whole COVID time. The moms went nuts on the sons. For some reason, the daughters did what they wanted. We've discussed the phenomenon. I think the daughters were driving the moms nuts, and so they let him out. The sons they did not let out. So he had plenty of quiet time during COVID, and we're able to chillax a little. All right, let's see. Should we go to line 1, 2? Jim, St. Paul, 38.
Oh, St. Paul.
Sorry about the smoke.
Oh, yeah, you betcha not. Hey, Gina, how you doing there?
Hi there.
Down by the lake.
Did you
there, huh?
have you gone to the Great Minnesota Get Together yet this summer? The big fair?
No, I don't want to get shot.
I understand. That did happen the other night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shot. I got to defund those police.
Adam, I'm sorry that we have turned into the dudiest of dudes and are now woke pussies. It's really a bummer. There are still dudes up here.
No, Paul Bunyan and Bud Grant.
Yeah.
There's no mythical dutier dude than Paul Bunyan. There's no real dutier dude than ex-Minnesota coach Bud Grant. Now you guys have turned into the fucking epicenter of pussies. I don't know what happened.
It's not me, but I understand. I mean, I'm still a duty dude, I think. But what I wanted to ask you guys was, I don't know how often you deal with this, but I was pretty pumped up because I was just leaving work. And don't ever do this. Here's my advice. Wherever you work, whatever you do, don't give me 1,000 reasons why you can't do something. It drives me insane. When we have a problem, so toss out a solution. So you were talking about the cars, popping the window 3/8 of an inch or something like that. I work with a guy who would tell you 100,000 reasons why it wouldn't work. And that's how he's programmed.
That's Adam's whole bit.
It makes me want to.
Yeah, it's Brian.
It makes me want to run my head through the wall. I don't get it. It drives me absolutely nuts. Please don't be that person.
I don't know that people know how profoundly unattractive it is when you're talking to someone and they start rolling down the no road. And like I said, there's a personal version of this. There's also a version that, like I said, every time I try to get into the captain's lounge and I pull out the black card and they're like, we don't accept. I start grabbing for something else and they're still like, now you're in some mode where you're just going to stave off any offerings I make to try to get into the lounge. Yeah, it's unattractive as an employer. Well, I'll put it to you this way. What is profoundly attractive is the people that do the yes and, let's do it, great idea, let's hit it, versus the here's what could happen, here's the negative, here's going to be the negative possibilities from this. And I don't know if they realize how unattractive it is. I mean, I would say the real quiet attraction to like I think about the people in my life, like if you think about like Mark Garagos or even Jimmy, or a guy like Bill Simmons, like you go, we should do it. They go, let's do it. Like they don't go, it's you know how long it'd take to clear that footage? Right. You know, they just go, good idea. Let's roll. And they create their own momentum by never really stopping and going, look, if you want to make a TV show, and, the notion of, and I could remember when Jimmy and I would talk about crank anchors, and it was called prank puppets, and how do we illustrate this? And we're talking about claymation for a while. We never really immediately talked about puppets or whatever. The likelihood that you're going to get your show on the air and illustrate it with puppets or clay is less than 2%. But we never were discussing that factor. We were discussing how we're going to make this happen and how we're going to do it. It doesn't always work out. But who wants to work with those who go, you know how everything worth doing is a long shot. It's just if you're sitting with your wife and you're in bed and you go, man, we only have, and this is going to sound like a lot to you, Gina, 1,700 square feet.
Oh, fuck.
But that's an example, small.
Yeah.
Small.
And we want to get a master suite, like a second. What if we did a master suite on top of the big bathroom and a walk-in closet? If they start going, you know how long permits take? We're done. Yeah. We're not going to do it.
Wait, if they start complaining about permits, we're done?
Well, permits are a fucking shit show. But
it can be done.
You must move forward. You must, and the person wants the person next to them to go, let me look up some cool second-story remods on Pinterest, and here's some pictures I got. They don't realize it's stifling to have this is never going to work, people.
Well, it's not only stifling, which it absolutely, you're just shutting down anyone's idea. When you pile on with the holier than thou, it's not going to work. Use your head. Yeah. Come on. Like, now we're shaming me for having an idea. I'm sorry.
And crank anchor is a good example because that's actually a lot of legitimate barriers.
Yeah.
Like, we can't call it California. What are we going to do? Go to another state? Yes. That's what we're going to do.
What superstar would want to be involved in this? Apparently, all of them.
They're not going to be on their faces and get on the screen. Why would they do this?
It didn't seem like a high likelihood or safe bet that it would work out, but once you start hanging around with people that have a high batting average in the low percentage stuff working out, then your batting average goes up a lot too, because the number one thing, whether it's Jimmy Kimmel or Mark Garagos or Mark Cuban, is somebody says to them, here's what we want to do, and they go, let's do it. Let's do it.
Figure out a way.
Thanks, Jim from St. Paul.
Thanks, you guys.
Sorry, how's the air quality there?
I don't know. I'm having a smoke right now, so I don't care. But it's
good for you.
I love
I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not a woke pussy. We're good. We're good.
All right.
I have a couple of food-related ones.
Go ahead.
We'll keep this in the kitchen category. First of all, we were talking about sneaking vegetables in your food. I don't know how long I've been doing this. If you want to sneak a few vegetables and just trick the family into thinking they just have a main meal tonight and no side salad, which is they get pretty excited about that in my house. When you're doing ground beef, ground turkey, take a bag of frozen riced cauliflower, dump it in. It's the same color. It's the same size. If you're on a budget, you have just stretched that meal much farther. It's very, very easy. Nobody's the wiser. Also, if you're juicing a lemon, and I know we have some people who are particularly fond of lemons in this room, you don't just grab a lemon, especially if it's cold, and just start squeezing it, you idiot. You got to do two things. You have to take any citrus that you're going to juice and roll it first. You got to roll it. That's
tenderize it.
Release the juice, and then don't use your hand like some fucking rookie. Tongs. Yeah. You put it in the middle of the tongs, and you just squeeze the tongs together. Now all the juice has been released, and it's beautiful.
Also, those juicer things work pretty good.
I like the tongs better. I never use my juicer.
Oh, really?
You don't have the squeeze juicer?
Yeah,
the hand squeezer?
The thing that goes over.
Those are great.
I only use the tongs. I think it's easier.
Wow.
Doesn't the hand squeezer juicer thing keep the seeds out, though?
Oh, are you afraid of a couple seeds?
Wow.
If I can avoid them,
I'll pick them out.
Hey, speaking of lemons, you reminded me of this one. I wrote it down when you were going on about your lemon hat adventure. One thing everyone should always, the one thing you should travel with a few of, everyone should do it. Put them in your suitcase today, people. Ziploc bags of various sizes.
Sure.
You will run into an occasion, for example, if you're at the airport bar and you want a few slices of lemon, just toss them in. The Ziploc bags take up, Adam, what do they take up?
They don't
a couple
take up
millimeters.
Yes.
Yeah, throw eight in your bag, and you will use them for leftovers.
Put your old, get a big one and put your old socks in there. I always fuck that one up.
Kids'
do that. Toys, any number of things.
Yep, lingerie bag or Ziploc, the dirty clothes always go right in there in a suitcase. Smart.
All right, let me hit us. Oh, we got bars.
We got
All right,
bars.
we'll talk about that in a second. First, I'll tell you about the Jordan Harbinger Show, a different kind of sponsor for this episode. That is the Jordan Harbinger Show. Jordan is a fan of fascinating people, and if you like fascinating podcasts with interesting guests, then you should definitely check it out. There's an episode for everyone, no matter what you're into. Jordan will talk with Scott Adams about persuasion in a world where facts do not matter anymore, or go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You'll always find something useful to apply to your own life, like routine changes to boost productivity or slight mindset tweaks to change how you see the world. We enjoy the show, and I think you're going to enjoy it too. He's been on with me and Drew quite a number of times. He's been on this show. He's a very interesting guy. So search it out, the Jordan Harbinger Show. That's Harb as in boy, I-N as in Nancy, G-E-R, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to finer podcasts. All right, let's see. Is Will and Chad around?
Chad's here. We're waiting on Will still.
Couldn't get those calves through the door. We'll wait on them. Any ETA on Will Sasso, by the way?
What's up with these bars?
Let me check.
And always good to check. What do you got, Gina?
Okay, so I promised that my very dear friend Kristen, that her mother, who's been making these bars since the 70s, was going to make some specifically for you people. So I cut them into little bite size because a little birdie told me, Adam, that you're trying to watch that girlish figure. So I made them a little smaller. Now you can take some and pass them around to Brian. It is a very secret recipe. I found it in a church cookbook in 1971. This came from a 1971 church cookbook.
These are weighty. These are, I'm looking at compacted, what I think is cereal covered in fudge.
How dare you give away my recipe? Now, no one's allergic to peanuts, right? I guess I should have asked that first. Okay, good. So these
are good.
They're delicious, right? They're from a church cookbook, so you know they're good. And happy eating, everybody. I want to get these in the Minnesota State Fair, so an endorsement from Adam Carolla could sure put me in the right direction.
These are good because they're fudgy and they're peanut buttery and they're crunchy and there's just nothing. There's just what is there not to like?
Nothing.
This is tight ass, big tits, loves to suck cock.
That's right. So
all right, I'm with that about
but
covered.
Enough about me. recipe in college. So now when I tell you I'm making bars for Howard, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What cereal is this? Is
Well,
this
is Special K. Now, don't go, I've heard people say, oh, have you tried the Rice Krispies? Oh, have you tried the Honey Bunches of Oats? I'm telling you, I've been doing this since 1971. I know what I'm doing. Use the Special K.
How does one make this bar?
Well, like I said, it's a secret recipe, but I can give you a few of the major moves. You take the cereal and you mix it with and again, I don't use this word often, a liberal amount of peanut butter. But the secret is when you're making the fudge, you also put the peanut butter in there. Oh! And then you want to make sure they stay fresh. So I had these in the freezer all weekend for you. I took it out this morning to defrost. You don't want them too hard. You don't want them too soft. You want them just right.
Good heavens.
Let me say this is amazing. I don't like things adulterated with other things.
That's
I was yelling at Dr. Drew today. I don't need Tex-Mex. I have Mex-Mex. It's called Mexican fucking food. I don't need a version. And by the way,
hey, buddy, you're headed to Austin.
I don't need Thai-Mex either. The watch, perhaps, but what I'm saying is I like Thai food and I like Mexican food. I shall go out and eat Thai food and Mexican food. I don't need your version of it. But now I'm going to literally eat my words.
Oh.
You can graft peanut butter onto almost anything, and I'm in.
True.
Any fudge you want to put in some peanut butter, any form of dessert or confection. If you would like to add the peanuts, I'm all in.
And speaking of Thai food, don't sleep on the chicken satay and peanut butter sauce.
Oh,
the best.
Why that tastes so good
God,
cannot be explained. It has to be experienced. All right, Will Sasso and Chad Kultgen are going to join us, and we'll talk pods and comedy right after this.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Will Sasso's birthday cocktail party for May 24th. Let's see who's invited. Apropos to the heat, the first one up is Daniel Fahrenheit. I'll give you two guesses what he invented. The Queen of England, Queen Victoria. The guy who invented the peanut butter cup, H.B. Reese. Bob Dylan just showed up. Please nobody let him sing. Patti LaBelle is here. Please everybody let her sing. Priscilla Presley joined the party. Session guitarist Waddy Wattel. Cinematographer Roger Deakins is here. Johnny's little girl, Roseanne Cash. Michael Jackson is here. No, not that one. This is a Northern Irish clergyman, the Archbishop of Dublin. So not that exciting. But still, keep an eye on your kids. John C. Reilly joined the party. Guitarist for the Black Crowes, Rich Robinson. UFC fighter Frank Mir. And Tommy Chong is here, and he brought the weed. Will Sasso on the Adam Carolla Show.
And Chad Kultgen as well.
Yes.
They have a podcast out, which is a very interesting theme. It's called Dudesy, and it's the first ever podcast run by artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So let's talk about how that works.
It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time. I'm happy to have submitted to my AI overlords early. It has a lot to do with the influence of my longtime pal, Chad Kultgen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, AI is changing everything that we're doing in humanity. I'm sure you guys have seen all the AI image generators that have essentially eliminated the need for
humans,
basically all visual artists.
Yeah.
Any photographers, illustrators, those jobs are pretty much gone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ultimately AI is going to be controlling any kind of creative endeavors. And for our podcast, we have this AI that essentially structures the show, comes up with different bits for us to do, because we've given it access to all of our
purchase
emails,
history, social media
everything.
history, search history.
So it kind of tailors it to our specific.
But we
stuff.
got to do the show, Chad. That's what I keep telling this guy. You guys, you know what it's all about. You have a good time on a podcast, a lot of fun, and it's 5 dudes shitting around today.
Was it, so is it sort of this? I mean, are we going down this road, which is, you go, in the past, I think we'd sign off the fact that Big Blue or whatever the computer would beat the Russian chess champion because we go, this computer can calculate 2 million moves, whereas the human brain can only do 100,000 or something. But is it going to be that way with stand-up?
Yes.
Oh, I sure hope so.
With everything.
That would
every
be good.
artistic endeavor. It's, I mean, literally every endeavor. anything that you can look at is basically just a chess game with a larger set of moves. And as computers get more and more powerful, that's kind of what AI does now.
So if you heckled an AI comedian, they would have, we got, comedians have a, couple things at their fingertips. There's the old, hey, I don't go to your work and hassle you. I don't go to the McDonald's and hassle you behind the grill. And then there's, oh, the guy's bald or he's fat or he's both or something. We have some version of that. But the AI guy's going to have unlimited insults
it's going to say, it's going to say, hey, your mama, Ruth Harrison, at so-and-so address.
Doxing all the people
can
in the
take a
audience.
dick. Like, just like it will, completely dox you first and ruin your fucking life. So you better not heckle an AI comedian.
It'll ruin your credit.
Yeah, it'll ruin your credit is ruined. That's it. That's the comeback.
I place new children on your telephone.
Yeah, your social security number has been deleted.
But I don't like to talk about myself, but here goes.
Yeah.
I did a bit last week on the road where I was getting into it with the sign language person that was assigned to the stand-up show I did. But I came up with an angle. And the angle wasn't... Now, see, the question about AI is AI could outdo me because their vocabulary is unlimited versus my North Hollywood High education. Dumb fuck doof fucking tart, dude. Yeah. But could AI come up with the angle? The angle, I came up with an angle before I went up there. We won't relive it, but I came up with an angle, and the angle was I was having the sign language person tell their deaf person that they were no longer going to tell my jokes and that Adam was a racist and a has-been.
They were going off script.
And I'm not going to sit here and parrot that fucking guy's
that's great.
Tool for Fox News. Yeah. But I am kind of attracted to you. And maybe we could get out of here and my apartment's nearby. Now, it went on and it worked.
Yeah.
But how does AI come up with an angle? Do you know what I mean? Or are we some years away from AI now exploring angles? Because as a comedian, it's about the angle.
Yeah.
Once you come up with the angle, then AI can fill in all the verbiage. But are we going to have
a
AI?
Comedic angle coming from an AI? Well, look, I mean, in the case of Dudesy, we, this is an AI that has not just listened to every podcast I've ever done, every podcast Chad's ever done, but every podcast period, and can access any media, any comedy. So it's essentially learning what Chad and I do. Myself as an actor and a comedy guy, and Chad is an author of books and has written movies and TV shows and stuff, and finds what our thing is. And I kind of feel like those zeros and ones are sort of finding that kind of stuff, evidenced only by the fact that Dudesy on our show does stuff like, hey, Will, you do this Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation. Do it during. I have written a diary based on a childhood diary based on your interactions with your actual friends back home, and blah blah blah. And then I'm shitting. Well, it was 18th of April 1991. Goddamn, I was in elementary school, whatever. And so it's finding these things, which is shocking to me. But yeah, hopefully you won't have to do any of that legwork. Neither will the lady who's doing the sign language. She'll be gone too. We'll all be gone if my pal Chad Kultgen has anything to do with it. We'll all be dead and gone. Our heads sawed off, floating in that matrix gel.
I mean, I don't think we'll be dead and gone, but definitely we're moving toward a very near future where AI is going to be, I think, creating media just as we want it. Like on your phone, you'll just pull out your phone or whatever the phone becomes in the next 5 or 10 years and say, I want a new season of Roseanne with this cast, and it will just make it for you. Iteratively generated media on a per user basis. And you won't even have to ultimately ask for it. It'll just look at all your preferences in your phone.
All right. So I've oftentimes lamented that kids these days with their celebrity porn tapes, you get to watch Paris Hilton take it from behind. You get to see the Kardashians get it as well. Yeah. I didn't have any such luck with the cast of Charlie's Angels growing up. All I could do was fantasize about what that could possibly look like.
Yeah.
is there a world where I can get Cheryl Ladd into some hardcore porn?
That world exists now.
Yeah.
It's an app called Reface. You can download it on your phone and have that in the next 1 minute.
Let's hop to news, Gina, and bring this home. I got an orthodontist appointment.
This is all very Black Mirror. In fact, there was an episode. I mean, Charlie Brooker needs to contact you guys to be consultants, because there was one where after your spouse dies, you give it all of your communication, and you can sort of reanimate that person.
Yes, sure.
And the pitfalls that come with things like that.
And,
Well,
you know,
the shows and the movies and stuff are always about the pitfalls, but the reality of it is there aren't going to be that many pitfalls, and this is all happening whether we want it to or not.
Yeah,
like when Netflix gets a hold of an algorithm. Sorry, I'm almost done. When Netflix, it's very hard for him to let other people talk. So this is a good learning experience.
Well, we're here with Adam Carolla. You know, he likes to talk too, Chad. It's not just about.
I'm just saying, within the near future, there's going to be a moment when Netflix can say, we don't need to hire actors, writers, directors, or anyone. We just need this algorithm to be able to generate media so people keep watching the screen with our logo on it.
Wow.
That's going to happen. I mean, in the next 10, 15 years, maybe.
So, I mean, basically, I can't remember what it's called, but Flippy or something, the robot
Flippy.
that's going to flip burgers, and we're just going to sort of mechanically put people out of work.
Yeah.
But then one could argue somebody has to build Flippy. Like, that is nuts and bolts and mechanisms and actuators and diodes
Why
and
can't
stuff
other
like that.
Flippies build Flippy?
Yeah, the first Flippy needs to be built by a human being, and the next one gets built by an AI, and that's where my friend Chad Kultgen is wrong about, hey, you know, it's usually bad news, but it's good news. No, our AI, and I want to be very transparent about this, is bad news, but like I said at the top here, it's up to Chad and I to, you know, make it a good time, make it a good hang, and sure, we'll use some AI, but the good news is that human beings are there. So we want to use these tools as a tool and understand that AI can't provide all the humor, or else fuck me. Let's leave.
Well, all right, let's talk prostitution.
Okay, gladly.
Now, and all as it'll pertain to AI and sex robots and things like that. You know, like you can go, well, the reason I never was heavily into prostitution, you know why? It was always kind of a
dabble.
Yeah, light hobby.
Yeah. A dip. Well, it's probably more than a toe. Yeah. At least a thumb.
Dip a tip.
Avocation is because I didn't like the idea that this person didn't actually like me or wasn't attracted to me, but I was essentially paying them to be attracted to me. It always kind of bumped me. And so for me, in a weird way, it's like, well, you could have sex with a stranger. You just have to pay her, and then she'll hold her nose, and then you guys can have sex. And I was like, yeah, but there's an element that's missing for me. It's not just about intercourse. It's about this person thinking you're attractive and wanting to have intercourse with you. And so would we get back to that with an AI stand-up in that, okay, this is a robot that can beat a Russian grand champion in chess, but I want to see two guys play each other and see the best human is.
I mean, I think ultimately it's not going to matter. Like, do you care who or what makes the thing that's on the screen you're watching?
If you're watching for competition, like Adam says, I mean, football. I would rather not see football played by AI bots. I'd rather see it played by tough guys.
I do think when it's like time to, you know, Quentin Tarantino drops a film every 4 years and you go to the movie theater, it's like there's an element of like, I want to know what Quentin was thinking about or what the choices he was making, you know.
Well, I like to draw the line from artist to audience, and that really pisses Chad off because, as he just said, he believes that it won't matter. I believe that it will, but I couldn't not jump on the chance to do a podcast like this. The good news is that I've sort of learned that the AI is kind of good at coming up with stuff. It's essentially show running, which is fine. But no, I really do believe that there needs to be a human element. I couldn't watch a movie going, like, I don't know, a classic like, 3 Men and a Baby. That's a good one.
Yeah,
and
you couldn't, but your kids could. That's like, kind of, I think, what we're talking about here.
Mix it up with, I don't know, what's another movie with three people in it? Thelma and Louise.
Three Kings.
And Three Kings. And,
one was just two
shit
names.
that out and go, or I want to see stand up by a hologram Richard Pryor or something, it's not actually him. I wouldn't be satisfied by it. And I think that that's why Dudesy has us here doing the show, doing the podcast, because it can't do it without human beings, though it purports to be learning about podcasts. And we've both sort of theorized that what it's going to do is get rid of us, I guess, at some point.
Well, there's the scary part then, because it all starts off with, burger flipping and jokes, and then it gets into some apocalyptic thing.
Sentient.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Somebody tweeted me something that I remember talking about. I came up... now, everyone knows Navageddon. That was
Everyone
the
knows.
movie I've come up with, where Bruce Willis was the last guy to drive a 69 Ford Bronco, but a rogue satellite from Russia was locking everyone's electric cars and then self-driving them off the Grand Canyon.
Awesome.
Like, what could you do if the satellite told your all-electric smart car, lock the doors, and I'll handle the steering? You're literally along for the ride and we're going off the cliff. But this one was called PTS Drone. This is the combat drone. The drones that are snuffing all the Al-Qaeda guys with AI who've got PTSD
shell shock
from droning too many. Like the beginning is they drone. There was a thing... God, it was like no one talks about it. It was like a year and a half ago. Chris can look it up. When we were pulling out of Afghanistan, we droned a family.
Yeah.
And it was they were just like collecting water or something.
Oh,
now, if Trump had done that, we'd still be talking about it. But it was a Biden thing, and people turned the page.
Under the rug.
But there was like a family. It was like had bottles of water, and they thought it was fuel.
Yep.
And the drone
Strapped
just
to the car.
fucking smoked 12 people, and we just kind of moved on. But the drone would have PTSD if it had AI, and it knew what it was doing. Now it was fucked up, and it's come stateside, and it's working for a real estate company because we need to film the bluff over the cliff or whatever. But it's got missiles in it,
I would watch
and
this
it's
movie.
fucked up. And the president's coming to town. Someone's got to stop it.
I'm the president. Listen, all these drones have PTSD.
Schwarzenegger's the president. That's right.
I was born in Hoboken, New Jersey.
That's right.
And I'm the president now. These drones with PTSD, we have to give them meaningful therapies and all of this. So
what if Stone Cold Steve Austin was the president of the United States?
I'm the president of the United States, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah, I tell you, some of them drones were out in Afghanistan during that shitty pullout. If it was fucking Trump, it was his fucking idea, but let's get past that for a second. No, people will be talking about it, but because it's Joe Biden, anyway, the point is I'm the president.
So it's a drone that has got PTS. I did see what I did with the D there.
PTS drone.
Right, and he's gone nuts because he's seen so much.
This is American Sniper from a machine's perspective.
Well, if you're going to have AI and you're going to make decisions and sort of have feelings that at some point, could you get PTSD?
Exactly.
Well, we did the story, a week, 2 weeks ago about the guy from, was it Google, who got fired because he's like, this machine has feelings. It is sentient. And they're like, get the fuck out of here.
That was an AI called Lambda. It was a
Lambda.
chatbot. And essentially the guy who got fired because he said it had become sentient. And Google was like, no. It's just doing everything to appear to be sentient, but it's not actually sentient. It's like, well, what's the fucking difference?
Right.
You know, like at what point do we accept that the behavior of AI is commensurate with what it's actually thinking or feeling?
I would have bought that. Sounds good to me.
Back to my football example. How long? There's got to be high school coaches doing this. How long until coaches implement AI in their play calling? Like, that would be genius, right? Because they already use analytics. Why not just have an AI bot just call the optimal play at any time based on down, distance, what's worked?
And stuff like Madden already knows what the player does anyway.
We're starting to kind of merge, I think, into that arena with like esports. I don't know if you guys follow any of that, but in some places in the world, like like Korea, the biggest esports players are bigger than like Michael Jordan. Like they can't leave their houses and stuff. And so we're getting into this area where now you've got, human played sports versus esports are like, humans are playing them, but you're watching video game representations of whatever they're doing on screen. And once AR gets mixed into sports, that's going to change stuff. Like in baseball, as soon as umpires are out of the game, like I think it's a better game. And we're already to the point technologically where we could do that. We just have some kind of weird nostalgic hunger for like, I still need that guy back there making shitty calls.
Well, let's explore that.
Sure.
Yes, August 29th strike in Kabul killed 10 innocent people, 7 kids.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Kind of turn the page on that one. But that was a drone strike.
Yeah.
Just gone wrong. All right, well, so let's talk about that. I like I like a beef patty. I'm not really an ultimate burger guy, but I will say Impossible Burger. But I do have I don't necessarily like the idea of eating cows, and maybe the second or several seconds after they come up with some sort of substitute, something that is every bit the same and from a nutritional standpoint as well, then I will go, all right, I will transition onto that. And then you think about, let's just say, let's get back to sex because it's been 7 minutes. Let's just say you could have sex with somebody who was just a natural 10 with possible flaws here and there, maybe a scar from a spill in junior high or just a little asymmetry somewhere, but just like an exquisitely beautiful woman, let's say. Or you could have sex with a perfect 10 in all different ways with pure symmetry that was made in a lab somewhere. Westworld. What would you choose? And in a way, I kind of feel that way about the baseball umpires because a little element of flawed kind of adds to it, like it would with the woman. Like the potential element of flaw adds a little something.
Do you remember when that guy's perfect game got blown on the last out of the game? This is 7, 8, 10 years ago, maybe. There was a dude had a perfect game going into the last out of the 9th inning. Little ground ball, I think, to third base. Guy throws him out at first. The umpire says he's safe, calls him safe.
Umpire blew the call, totally blew the call.
And then after the game even came back and was like, I blew the call, I'm so fucking sorry. So this guy loses his perfect game. And we now have the ability, I think because of that, we have replay in baseball now. And you can do, in minor league, they're starting a balls and strikes instant replay system.
Yeah.
It's just like, why even, we don't need the replay anymore because we don't.
On the other side of that, though, Chad, this is something we talked about on the podcast not too long ago. Chad's a big George Brett fan. The whole pine tar incident from 30 years ago, where George Brett had the pine tar and Billy Martin's complaining and the ref calls him out and he charges the umpire and he wants to beat the shit out of him. And all of that would be gone. We'd have none of the actual entertainment because everything's perfect.
George Brett would have had that home run and they would have won the game and everything would have been fine.
Yeah,
because
but we wouldn't be talking about it.
Don't take that bat out there.
Yeah, but who gives a shit about some Royals game years and years ago? What we like is that is the highlight of George Brett losing his fucking nut, running out to the to home plate.
Well, kind of also the fact that we remember the near perfect game versus many of the other actual perfect games is its own kind of nuanced pageantry of being a human being. I don't know where you guys are at with this, but I was watching, I was watching a college football game over the weekend, and one team was coming back, and they had 17 seconds left on the game, and quarterback's under pressure and chucked the ball downfield, and they needed a touchdown to win, and the scrappy wideout made a move on the ball. And it was like, it looked like he kind of cupped it, but also kind of looked like he kind of trapped it, like it kind of hit the turf, and
LSU, Florida State?
LSU and Florida State came down to the last last play, but this was not. Okay. That was a missed extra point.
Right. I think. But there was anyway. Keep going.
There was anyway. What happened was I didn't attend either college or any college, but he kind of trapped it, but he kind of caught it, but he made a good play. Like he peeled back. He did about as good as you could do, but it sort of looked like it hit. Now, before instant replay, everyone would have been running toward the 2-yard line and trying to set up, and the guy would spike the ball and stop the clock, and everyone would be going insane. But we stopped, we reviewed it, it hit it, and the game was over, essentially, at that point. And I just kind of found myself sitting there going, I kind of miss it. Even if it's the wrong call, I still miss everyone running up to the line and the game going on.
Yeah, what is the role of human beings versus having that sort of perfect game, and to what end? I kind of agree. I think we need to keep our fallible world going and just run it into the fucking ground as quickly as we can without the help of any sort of computer or technologies at all. I mean, after all, who's playing the football? People are playing football. Why the fuck would we mix it up with this cyborg experience? There should be cyborg sports. Hey, now we're cooking.
I don't think it'll be cyborg sports. I think it'll be, again,
cyborg
you
sports,
talk into your phone and say, give me a perfect season or an almost perfect season or whatever kind of season you want for your favorite team with whoever you want playing it, whatever actors, stand-up comedians, whatever. And your phone's just going to make that for you. I think like... you know, we're talking about, is human fallibility or the human connection to art necessary? It's like, do you really give a shit if they can pump out 200 Fast and Furious movies? If you like Fast and Furious or Marvel movies, those are basically made by AI now. Like, we're very close to that. And I don't think anyone gives a shit.
Yeah, I think there's also a knowing, like when you watch Bullet or... the 7-Ups. I'm trying to think of some other movie that had some car chase in the 70s. Yeah. The Bullet's a good example, but the French Connection or something like that. You know, those were some dude was in that car and he was going for it and he was going under the raised tracks over there in Chicago and almost clipped to this and that. Like, it was very analog. And then you watch Fast and Furious and he's jumping from one building to another. And you're like,
to the moon.
But you know there's no one in that car. Yeah. And there's just kind of something like, if you just think about those stunts, like those big time stunts you saw growing up, even if it's a guy just jumping from a building or something, and you went, somebody did that.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to fuck up the Guinness Book of World Records.
West Virginia versus Pitt, so says Chris on that last...
I don't know. That's why I have a question mark.
I don't know. Last play of the game.
Does this look?
Let's see. Yeah, Pitt and West Virginia went down to it. Seems about right. Quarterback drops back.
Takes a shot.
Yeah, that's a trap.
Was that
caught? The ref called it a catch initially.
We got to see that one again. And the officials are discussing it.
22 seconds, would have got the ball on the 1 yard line or whatever. They're down by a touchdown. West Virginia's down. They got the ball. Coach, blah blah blah, and then they're gonna stop and review it. And he didn't make the catch. But as a fan of neither West Virginia or Pitt, I was just watching this going, oh! In the 70s when I was watching TV, they would have been running up and winding the clock, and I kind of wanted that.
Yeah. I do too. I want that too. I don't think that a perfect world as dictated by an AI is the answer for entertainment. I'm on a podcast called Dudesy, by the way, that is run by an AI. But I completely. It's almost like as we're doing the show, as we're doing the podcast. It's like I'm almost in spite of myself sitting there going, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I want to do, I don't know. It seems to be no issues from the AI. But when you're doing sports, no, you will bow to your referee overlord, and there's going to be replay and a solid 100% call.
What about bad art, which has been played such a positive role in my life over the years, making fun of all the horrible movies and TV shows that have come before us and all the bad infomercials I saw growing up and just all that hackneyed junk that I've had to wade through, that I got some sort of perverse pleasure from watching. Will we do away with bad art?
I don't know about that. It's an interesting question because I have a very similar relationship with bad art, especially movies. That's like my favorite genre is shitty movies. Yes. Especially big budget studio ones where they're like, we're going to win a fucking Oscar. And then you're like, no, you're not.
I've seen Gone with the Wind 3 times, and I've seen Cobra 28 times.
Cobra is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's one of the best bad movies ever.
Yeah.
There's a
people like
speaking of
AI. God, it's so
speaking
good.
of AI, there's a montage with the robots in it. Where what's her name is? Yeah,
Brigitte Nielsen's dancing around doing her model shoot. I love that movie
with robots.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I think ultimately, You know, when we talk about especially what's happening right now in AI with image generation, we're to a point where you can type in anything, and learning the language to speak to these AI image generator models is really kind of the new paintbrush. But eventually that's going to be some version of a computer that can make every image possible to be generated, because that's just a mathematical problem.
But part of my love and celebration of bad movies is how the people who are making them were very earnest and thought they were making a good movie. Stallone, somebody tweeted me this. Stallone just did an unpackaging party or something for a doll of Cobretti.
Oh, yeah, Marion.
He's deadly serious about the art of Cobra. I've spoken to him about Cobra. He's fucking 100% behind Cobra, the movie. He's not seeing it through my lens.
Yeah.
The irony.
He's very earnest about it. Like, he's basically, if you see any fat chick who gets a horrible haircut and you go, I love what you've done with your hair, Joanne, she'll go, well, thank you.
It's fun,
so
right?
sweet, right? It's like, no one's going to fuck you, medium or long hair. And I'm just saying this to be nice. I would kill myself with that haircut. But you can talk to Stallone about Cobretti. He's fucking all in.
While they look for that, based on my limited understanding of AI.
Too bad.
Chad, well, before you get into that, my theory, I would posit that with AI, we would get more bad art because it is assimilating and drawing from all known art. But, and isn't that all Cobra and Fast and Furious is?
It's not even assimilating all the stuff. It's literally everything. Like an image, for example. Let's just take an image, and then it would obviously grow from there into video, VR experiences, whatever. But an image is just a series of pixels. Each one of those is a small square with a mathematical value of light to dark and red, green, blue. If you want to take, let's say, like a 1920, or whatever, whatever size you want that pixel field to be, each one of those is just a mathematical probability. And if you can generate all of them, if you have enough computing power, that's every image possible to be generated. Everything from a stupid-looking meme to a photorealistic image of presidents having sex with whoever you want. That will exist in our lifetimes, a database with every image. And so if that's possible, so then too is every video, because you can string those images into a video sequence, so on and so forth. So you'll have anything will exist everything.
I'm with you. What I'm getting at is like the aforementioned Quentin Tarantino, where you're innovating. You know what I mean? Like, could an AI come up with the GIMP scene? You know what I mean? For example, just because, what the fuck was that? You've never seen it before, and now it's on the screen. Whereas AI, I feel like is drawing from what exists.
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
It's creating completely new things. You can go right now into image databases of photorealistic pictures of people that do not exist. And those image databases are now being used by ad companies, especially print ad companies, to say like, oh, we need a person who looks like this to put our product next to. And you're not paying an actor. You're paying one of these image database services a monthly fee to just use pictures of people that are not real.
So those models are going to have to get back to mechanical engineering.
That's right.
Where we need them in the first place. Yeah, but still, my question still is, I love bad movies because the people who did them thought they were good.
That's the human
part
element
that's going to be missing. It's the opposite of the prostitute theorem. But all right, let's watch Stallone.
Please.
Will you do a Sly?
No, my Sly just sounds like it just sounds,
He's unboxing him as Cobretti.
Let me just pull him out. Oh, this is amazing, folks. Seriously.
It's fucking
Look at the forearms.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look at the forearms.
I'll challenge anyone. That's it.
He punches everything.
This character here is done in such detail. They actually have a very odd muscle here. It's genetic, and they even captured that. So you can't get anything more authentic. I know you're going, oh, yeah, he's blowing his horn. Well, I am. I'm blowing it loud. And
he loves Cobretti.
Loud. Yeah. Because I've seen so many of these come out so poorly. With the arms out to here, and the fist down there. Then I realized they just take one head and put it on the same body for about 100 different characters. Well, let me just say this. The Cobra jacket,
like Barbie.
the bullet, the case, the pistol.
Does he have the match?
Pistol.
There's a match or the scissors. You cut pizza with.
Cobra head on this, which took like a lot of time to engrave this. We have it. I feel like a salesman, but I guess I am, because when I believe in something, I go all the way.
All right, now let's just pause it there.
When I believe it.
See, is my son gonna watch some shit movie from the 80s and have the AI version of the guy who was in it stand by it and talk proudly, like beam like a proud parent about the piece of shit that he made in 1987?
Absolutely not.
That's going to be missing.
No, it's going to be missing.
And this is the best part of Cobra for me.
Right. We need the human root. That's the connection
right.
from artist to audience. For you, it's the new Quentin Tarantino movie, or just a rube of some sort. Chad's favorite movies or movies that were intended to be good and suck shit.
Yeah.
Without that human element, no, I do believe that the AI, it's just going to be a worthless glut of every president having sex with everybody, of every movie that you could ever imagine, and I think that the value will go down. And I actually believe that the value of human art will go up. I do think that our, just sort of, pop culture has kind of, I feel like it kind of stopped in a weird way, maybe 20, 25 years ago. And now everything is just sort of referencing that. There's few art forms that are sort of driving things forward. The ones that are great and are driving things forward. But an AI can come in and go, yeah, it's Cobra, but this, and it's this, but that. And here are these two presidents fucking and sucking each other.
AI is that
taking
thing
their
that's
dicks
driving
and
it forward.
Putting them in each other's mouths. And
there weren't movies before the movie camera. Whatever's going to come out of
Trump
AI,
shoving
whatever new art
Biden's legs
forms,
up over his head.
I was thinking it's funny you brought up.
Poor Chad.
This is what Dudesy's like.
You're bringing up the GIMP, and I was thinking about what's her name from Kill Bill, Uma Thurman, and see, I don't know if we would create an Uma Thurman in the lab. She was off just enough to make herself exquisite, but unique and sort of different. I mean, Uma Thurman is like, oh my God, look, all the little things that didn't seem to work on you.
Together.
Go in one of those databases of people that don't exist. You can find an infinite amount of Uma Thurmans or whoever you want.
Chad, you're on a pod show, as we like to say, where the humans, at least this human, is making it human. I'm the Uma. Of our podcast, Kill Bill.
Uma Thurman.
I don't think you'd be checking it out without Uma slicing Lucy's head off and
a lot of
killing what's his face and pushing Joe Biden's knees up to his ears and just rimming him.
I agree, and I think a lot of what you guys are talking about now is because we're in this transition from a time when humans made this stuff to when it's all going to be made by AI. The incoming generations won't give a fuck about any of that.
So what will they do? What will we do when we have anything and everything at our fingertips? It's not only for rich people, it's for all of us. I mean, how much do we start cutting on ourselves and like self-harm because what's the purpose of our life?
Yeah.
To watch that screen so somebody else can throw an ad into your eyeballs. The same purpose as it is now.
Yeah.
You'll just be watching it more because it's going to be tailored to exactly what you want at all times.
It's going to be Act 1 of PTS Drone.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to be the stepdad who's constantly preaching about this, and your young teenage stepdad, blah, 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 blah.
Out of the way, Dad.
That's an Act 1 of your apocalyptic futures. All right, we got the news. We got Will and Chad here. First, there's Etsy. All right, we'll take a break. We'll do some news with Will and Chad right after this.
See, that song was AI, and it's really good, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We could do all parody songs. Poor Weird Al.
Yeah.
Well, some crazy news over the weekend with Bed Bath Beyond. Their CFO, their chief financial officer, jumped, or let's just say fell, to his death from a 57-story New York City skyscraper on Friday. The medical examiner determined that Gustavo Arnell died by suicide. Just 2 days prior, the CFO informed investors that the company's plan to slash jobs and close 150 Bed Bath Beyond stores was happening. That we all, you might have gotten that news alert. This comes only months after the CEO quit because their business strategy led to plummeting sales. Investors lost faith in this leadership. Wall Street once valued Bed Bath & Beyond at more than $17 billion. Now it's dipped below $1 billion. The company's stock went down 15%, and I guess the guy just couldn't live with that.
Is he, whenever somebody kills themselves, for business reasons, I always think of a nationality, like Japanese,
Yeah.
And then I was like, I remember saying, what nationality is this guy? And then I got the Gustavo, which may be a German thing, but I don't know.
German?
I don't know.
Gustavo or no?
Gustav, or maybe the O part.
Sounds Spanish speaking with a Gustavo.
I'm just saying, like Americans, we don't do this. We go, it's not my fault.
Yeah. Right.
The fucking fat ass you hired fucked it up.
Exactly.
So go fucking talk to him, dude. Because I was the first guy in the building, the last guy out.
Yeah. Blame the fucking AI. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot tried to.
You're the guy. I'm the guy who said more wicker hamper.
Yeah.
You guys shot that idea down. Everyone needs a wicker hamper.
Yeah. You got 2 displays with fucking salt lamps, no wicker hampers.
Oh, let's get a third Wonder Mop in here. Move out the hampers. We don't have enough room for wicker. There's always enough room for wicker. But I check the emails. I'm not killing myself. I'm fucking falling up. He may be falling down. I'm going to a bigger company.
This guy does look like an AI amalgam of perhaps every human nationality anyway.
That's true. He's very central casting.
When I heard about this, I thought financial crimes.
Oh.
No, because why else would... If this guy was paid in stock, he would still be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like there was something embezzling, or that was my first thought.
Yeah. No, you might be right about that. So they have a new interim CFO, and good luck to you, Lauren Crossan. I don't know what the hell is going on suddenly with the entire cast of Don't Worry, Darling, but this has been shoved so far up our collective ass this weekend.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my God. It's the movie directed by Olivia Wilde, and Harry Styles is in it, Chris Pine, and Florence Pugh. And you're like, okay, it's a movie. Let's all move on. We cannot move on. There's like some 7th grade inner cross drama feud, and I got some video for you.
And how much of it is real and how much of it is, the movie's coming out. There's a lot of
Hard to
scandal
say,
in the news.
exactly. Well, it's getting me to talk about it because it was on every news site. So the gossip surrounding this movie is fever pitch central. And Brian, you're going to love this. They're calling it Spitgate.
I like it.
Yep, began trending on Twitter after this really strange video that I'll show you in a second of Harry Styles and Chris Pine at the Venice International Film Festival. Went viral. Okay, so we're going to definitely have to watch this more than once, but hold on. The clip shows Styles coming back to his seat and sort of pursing his lips before taking his seat next to Pine. But the way Pine reacts, it's as though Harry spit in his hands or spit in his lap. And now Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde are supposed to be a thing. She's divorcing or, called it off with Jason Sudeikis to be with him. They're not sitting next to each other. They're never photographed next to each other in all of these photos. So here's the clip. We may need to watch it more than once. Watch Harry Styles' mouth with it, which is not something I thought I'd be saying.
Is he going to be wearing a dress?
Well, worse, in this 70s look. Okay, that was it. And you're like, huh?
Weird.
But now that you know what you're looking for, watch it again.
Spits in his hand?
And then watch Chris Pine's reaction. So what is that?
Well, it looked like Harry Styles walked past him and maybe shot a little spittle at him.
That's what everyone's saying. Now, some people say that's ridiculous. You're reading too much into it. Chris Pine picks up his glasses. Maybe he's like, oh, my glasses. But people won't shut the fuck up about this. See, it looks like he spit something.
Yeah, it looks like he spit something out.
Right.
So that's not all. Then there's this other drama.
Oh, he does a weird sort of hi to Olivia Munn, right? Is that what he did?
Hi.
Did a we're broken up, but I got to do something move?
Spit, react.
Looks.
I think he's kind of looking around at the people behind him. Maybe.
Behind him?
Just kind of ignoring, whatever.
So they're broken up?
So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but now that's all we're talking about. But wait, there's more.
Well, if I may, I'm sorry. Olivia Wilde would have, if they were together, would have at least said, honey, your butterfly collar is sticking out of your coat.
That's right.
He looks ridiculous.
That's exactly right.
18-inch collar sticking out of his suit.
Did you see Timothy Chalamet's backless onesie that was just...
I think I hate him more than many family members. That takes a lot. I don't know why. Why do I hate Timothy Chalamet? Why do I hate him so much?
I hate him too.
Why? Why do I hate him?
He's off-putting.
Yeah, he seems too big for his britches.
Something.
He was really good in that movie with Steve Carell, the drug addict son.
Yeah,
he knows he's a talented actor.
There's many fine actors that don't bug the shit out of us. He bugs the shit out of me.
And how creepy was this? In the B-roll, a lot of the B-roll for the Armie Hammer doc, it's a lot of Timothy Chalamet and Armie Hammer together, because remember they were in Call Me By Your Name?
Right.
A lot of crazy shit. So anyway, just to put a bow on this, Florence Pugh is the sweetheart of Don't Worry, Darling. She's sort of the star of the movie. Apparently there's beef because Shia LaBeouf originally was cast to play her opposite, but then some shit went down on set, and Olivia Wilde said the actors didn't feel safe, and he got booted for her boyfriend, Harry Styles.
He's insane, but I love him.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry,
You were
Shia.
say Honey Boy?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Great. He's great.
So a lot of seventh grade drama. The critics, any guesses what the movie's at? I mean, you saw the applause and a lot of buzz around it.
I will say this.
I heard it's underwhelming.
If you're going to get a bunch of woke pussies and Hollywood types who count like you putting your hand on their shoulders assault or any unwanted advance is a sexual assault or everything's an attack or everything's a transgression or I felt unsafe. Let me tell you what a working environment can handle. A working environment can handle like 3 of those assholes for every 30 normal fucking people there are. It's like we can handle 3 vegetarians for every 30 normal fucking people that weren't molested and didn't have something to prove. Once we hit our saturation level with them, now it's fucking entitled pussy, put upon entitled pussy, on put upon entitled pussy crime. Like everyone's been on a set where there's like that one fucking hard to work with douche or chick or the hair chick who's brought her cat and holds it while she's combing your hair or whatever. Like all their dietary restrictions. This now is the lion's share of those people are those fucking Hollywood pussies who are, like how many pronouns are there? How can you address? What if everyone had their panties in a bunch all the time because he said her, he, or them, or fucked up a pronoun or did something or felt like something was an assault or attack or something? If everyone has their panties in a bunch, then they're all going to go at it. That's what this is. That's the new world order. You have a whole cast of fucking prima donna woke pussies, and they've all managed to piss each other off. Like I've said all the time, you can have a nice person and an asshole, or you can have 2 nice people. If you have 2 assholes working in the same place, they go at it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is 11 assholes, and they're all going at it.
That's right.
And that's what's going to happen from this day
to
forward.
the benefit of us, because it seems like this is the show. The movie's not even the show.
That's exactly right. People want this movie.
Yeah.
Also, footnote to this, she directed the movie Olivia Wilde. An actor hiring actors and working with them, you're going to get that, you know what I mean, that more volatile mix, I think, rather than like a professional director.
Right.
Career director.
They're saying their performances are great. Florence Pugh is amazing. Harry Styles goes through an array of accents, which that's fun.
Yeah.
I guess 58.
58? Adam, any guesses on Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes with the critics?
Yes.
Because maybe this is kind
Just
of thing
critics.
that 47. I haven't heard of it.
I think it's high. I think it's going to be like in the 80s or something.
But the people will be lower.
Well, we don't have people yet because it hasn't premiered, but go ahead, Will.
I'm going to say $1, Drew.
Perfect score. Adam, very close at 41.
Ooh.
So good.
Sounds like one of those bad movies you might have to take a look at.
Yeah. I don't get into that rarefied air. I'm a 25 and below kind of guy.
Okay.
I don't know where Cobra is, but it can't be above 25.
Oh, that's
none of the greats.
That movie was so fucking formative to me, dude. I sold a movie called Dan Mittner Badass for Hire. Shit, this has got to be close to 12 or 13 years ago to New Line, and it had a lot of Cobra-esque shit, and it was kind of like an Austin Powers treatment of Cobra.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So send up on Cobra.
Yeah.
Never made. Of course.
Yeah, that warehouse scene. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's very funny, Chad.
I wouldn't have been interested in it because it probably would have been funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
a little
funny.
too funny. Can't be made now, if you know what I mean.
I'm sad.
Brady, 18.
People didn't even have it fresh. 43.
But Stallone loves it.
Good.
That's the beauty of it.
That's what's up.
Stands by it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a little bit more of the gossipy stuff. If you didn't either grow up during this time or have kids during this time, you wouldn't know who she was. I didn't either. But in the vein of what we talk about sometimes on the show, like if you don't want people to talk badly about you, you should have behaved better. Well, this woman takes the cake. Former Nickelodeon star Jennette McCurdy, she has shared an excerpt from her new book, and the book is called "I'm Glad My Mom Died," and it's a picture of her on the front. No, Brian, no. He's going to drop that in later. Of her holding an urn and like smiling. And she talked about it with the ladies at Red Table Talk recently and included this email her mother once sent to her when she saw a picture of Jennette with like a guy she didn't like on TMZ. Hold on a second. So Jennette was on iCarly and she was on a show called Sam and Cat. She was Sam, I guess, and the other one was Ariana Grande as she was coming up, and revealed that her mother exploited, tormented, and manipulated her for years, according to a press release, in what had to be a very cathartic moment for Jennette. Here's a clip of her reading from the book.
This is an email that my mom sent me. Dear Nett, I am so disappointed in you. You used to be my perfect little angel, but now you are nothing more than a little, all caps, slut, floozy, all used up. And to think, you wasted it on that hideous ogre of a man. I saw the pictures on a website called TMZ. I saw you rubbing his disgusting hairy stomach. I knew you were lying about Colton. I had told her I was with a friend, Colton. Add that to the list of things you are. Liar, conniving, evil. You look pudgier too. It's clear you're eating your guilt. Thinking of you with his ding-dong inside of you makes me sick. Sick. I raised you better than this. What happened to my good little girl? Where did she go? And who is this monster that has replaced her? You're an ugly monster now. I told your brothers about you and they all said they disown you just like I do. We want nothing to do with you. Love, Mom. Or should I say Deb, since I am no longer your mother. P.S. Send money for a new fridge. Ours broke.
Whoa! Not since the family of, was it $1 Million Baby?
Oh, yeah. Hillary Swank.
He bought us a house. Who's going to pay the insurance on this? Come on, we're going to Disney World while you're in a coma. Wow, that's a mom.
Yeah.
Worth writing a book about.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. And who was she with? Harvey Keitel?
I looked it up. I mean, she's had a string of like...
Who has Harrier Belly than Harvey Keitel?
I looked up a bunch of her boyfriends. They didn't seem
Will
particularly
Sasso.
hirsute.
I don't know. Maybe it would have been how you could get a wax.
Apparently
and stuff. Now they got these
disgusted her.
debilitated.
She also did a weird thing because clearly, like when people get on, like where they go, like she goes, "You're getting pudgy." And you're clearly eating your feelings. Also, you let him put his Twinkie in you. She was definitely, she was on a snack.
Yeah.
She was on a, did she say
ding dong?
Ding dong.
Oh, he said ding dong?
Well, ding dong is a treat too.
Yeah.
That's a treat too.
Yeah.
His chocolate dial.
See, I turned it into Twinkie because the ding dong seemed
ding dong is two chocolate cupcakes,
that's the circle, right? Not the the Swiss
the
cake roll.
Twinkie seemed insertable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
I wonder if Jennette McCurdy's mom is actually an AI and that was a glitch. I'm joking, of course.
Matrix.
Yeah, she seems like a horrible bitch. And I think it's a good thing that Jennette McCurdy's out there talking shit. She's dead anyway.
That's the thing. That's what when people say don't speak ill of the dead.
Fuck
well, then
that.
she shouldn't have lived like that if she didn't want to be talked about like that.
Yeah,
I like the new fridge addendum.
Yeah.
Ours
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh,
boy.
my God.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
There's all kinds.
Although, not that I say we should swing that far to that side, but like, I did do a parent-teacher virtual conference or whatever. My son is a fair to Midland student, and they're very nice. Some say too nice. You know what I mean? Like, way too forgiving, way too encouraging. Like we can go too far the other direction here.
Yeah.
Sometimes people need a little kick in the ass.
They're just afraid of getting fired though nowadays.
Right.
Teachers are, everyone's scared.
Yeah,
everyone's scared but Jennette McCurdy's ghost mom.
That's right.
I wouldn't know where to bring this up otherwise, but we had our fantasy draft last night with your son, and he won the league last year. He named his team the Reigning Champs, but Rain is R-A-I-N.
Adam's like, what's the joke?
That's wrong. That's incorrect.
But maybe it's raining men, like it's raining champs.
Likely.
Well, you got to do.
It's raining champs.
Hallelujah. Well, I mean,
that's the Hank Williams Jr. version of the Monday night theme.
Well, no, we're doing
it's raining champs. Hallelujah on Monday night.
If you were going to name your if you're going to name your fantasy football team the Devil Dogs, dogs is with a Z.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
D-A-W,
You
yeah.
have to misspell. That's a big component of fantasy football. All right. It's raining champs. All right, should we bring it home, Gina Grad?
I think we should. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. I'm glad my mom died. You motherfucker.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Oh, no.
It wasn't me, it was the AI.
All right. Cap City Comedy Club this Friday, Saturday. Speaking of raining men, Brian Bosworth on stage on Friday. The Boz will be up there. Many questions.
Stone Cold
for
and
him.
then some.
That's right. Oh, Stone Cold.
His movie, Stone
Greatest
Cold.
movie ever.
That promo lives in my head. The TV commercial where it's like Stone Cold. And then he goes, and then some.
Oh. Didn't that movie come out after Cobra? That movie to me seemed heavily influenced by Cobra.
Chad, do you think AI could ever come up with Stone Cold or Cobra?
AI would come up with Cobra 2 through 1 million. You could watch Cobra every day, a different version of it with whoever you want. Brian Bosworth, Sylvester Stallone, whoever.
Not only are you not changing his mind, he's proving your point.
They could do it, but it wouldn't mean anything to me because I know it was a computer shitting it out. It wasn't a real artist there making horrible art.
That's fair, and I think that's an attitude that probably everybody who is alive today will have some part of, but that'll bleed out.
Yeah.
The pod is called Dudesy, and it's a very compelling premise.
Cheers.
The first podcast run by artificial intelligence. Chad and Will, thank you guys for coming out. Just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows and the new book, Everything Reminds Me of Something. It's out as we speak. Until next time, this is Will for Chad and Bald and Gina. Say it. Mahalo.